to this video. I do not own anything in the video for copyright infringement. Any of the clips that I have are not mine. Video is for educational purposes only, okay? Listen, we're going to talk about some things. We got some things to talk about. I want to give a shout out before I start. Shout out to Nick at Night and shout out to Unpacking Baggage podcast on Facebook. Let's get into this video. All right, y'all, what is good? Welcome back to my channel. Now, we're here to give an update on Amora Alexis. She's been doing a lot of interviews, and the more she does interviews, the more that she's getting, things said about her online from her second baby daddy mother, and we're going to talk about that. And also, she's getting deeper into things, and people feel like things are changing. If you guys want to see the full videos of these two interviews, you can go to Nick at Night on YouTube. You can also go on Facebook to Unpacking the Baggage podcast. We'll talk into that, get a little bit, and I'll put the link in the description box. But if you guys don't know, Amora Alexis is a young mom who gave up her children. Now, she told us to CPS. Come to find out, it was not to CPS. We're going to start off with, I did some key points. I didn't do the whole thing of Nick at Night interview and some of the things that kind of caught people's ears and eyes about her. And then we're going to jump into the one with Unpacking the Baggage podcast, where she get a little deeper and it also starts to hit people what's really going on. I feel like the more this girl do interviews, the more she's kind of telling on herself. So we're going to start with Nick at Night. I'm going to put some audio in here and I'll be back more commentary.
Number one question that people are asking or have asked in the chat. Somebody says, how old is she? I believe she says she's 27. They want to know, okay, so you have 5 children. How many fathers are there?
So there's 3 of them all together. The first one, I don't call him a father at all. I just say sperm donor, because that is actually the man who raped me from 15 to 18. And I've tried to reopen my case so many times. I've tried to get justice. I haven't got anything. But what I do have was my letter from Children's Services from when I was younger, during that whole thing. And they, hey, we have sexual abuse, for this young lady, and it's substantiated. We have clear evidence that this young lady is being sexually abused. I've tried to get justice so many times. But it's past the statute of limitations and they're not trying to hear it.
Okay, so the first father is your abuser. What about the next 2 fathers that they have? And
so they're literally right back to back, because when I got pregnant with my second child at that time, I didn't have time to heal. He forced himself on me again, and that's why they're back to back. I was literally still in my 6 weeks. Well, at that time, probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, hopefully you're getting therapy for all of that, because that sounds like a very traumatic experience. Okay, so
it is, but I've kind of moved past it. It ain't kill me. It's only made me stronger in some way. I assume, I guess.
Yeah, it's always good to basically continue to seek help, to make sure your mental is strong. Now, the next 2 children's fathers, is that what is their stories?
So after I had, got away from my abuser, I spent a couple years by myself. I found my youngest son's dad, and he turned out to be a fucking monster. I'm just gonna just honestly put it just like that. When I met him, he told me he had a job, he had a car, he had a house. Turns out the car he had was 2 days from repossession. I mean, this isn't, like, I'm trying to think of how I could put it. This is like around the time I'm just now meeting him, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't even think how old I was. I was maybe 20, 21. I was really fucking stupid. But anyway, it turns out he actually just had a drug problem. So he ended up dying in 2020 of a drug overdose. That's what nobody knows. Don't get me wrong, I don't have my kids, but CPS does not have custody. CPS actually never took custody. So they were actually thinking about taking custody. But when I talked to her, and she was like, so, like, what is really going on? What is your plan? Like, do you have a plan? And I was like telling her, because, like, I'm not like a lazy mom. I'm actually that Friday, not this Friday, but last Friday, I actually just finished my last medical class. I have to do my NHA exam and then my externship. So I'm actually in 2 different colleges right now. So I was just like telling her everything that was going on and what my plan was to, you know, get us financially stable and, maintain it and, expand it or whatever. So they was just like looking at me like, we don't want to take these kids because we obviously see you fucking love them. And I'm sorry if I tear up or cry.
Mm-hmm.
Because though the kids are not with me, I do know where they are. I do see them every day. I have not perfect, but perfect, yes, but I do have communication with them every single day as well.
So
But
you gave them to a friend or family member, or they're with CPS, but you know which house placement they're at? I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I don't have a case with CPS at all. Once I talked to them that night, they gave my kids technically, like, I still, so that I can work and, chase these different ventures and try to sustain. Because honestly, I'm looking for generational wealth for me and my children. And even if it's not going to start off as generational wealth, stability and security is number one. That's all I'm chasing right now. I do have custody of my kids. They're just not physically with me.
So you placed them with somebody, or did CPS? Because it sounds like you're saying
I did. I'm sorry. Yes, I did. They actually, once they realized, like, we're not about to take your kids from you because we obviously see you fucking love them. Like, so I still have custody. I did place them elsewhere. I forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Yeah, no, the CPS didn't place them. I placed them. I chose where their placement is. And actually, I made sure to, the problem with me picking them up, visit
to the day that he died, or what happened surrounding his death, the reason, like, why is the mom blaming you?
Perfect. Now we're about to go ahead and hit gold. So for the one the one everybody's been waiting on. So the reason why his mom is accusing me. Now, obviously, we had a very, very, very toxic relationship. It was just toxic as hell. So, and everybody knows the relationship between a baby mom and a baby dad, especially the young and immature. I actually went to jail for the first and only time ever in my life. My son was 4 days old. For a 4-day-old preemie, actually. And
Okay, how long ago was this? When did this happen?
This was 2018 on Halloween night.
Okay, and this is a year after you met him, because you said you met him in 2017.
Yeah, 2017. So then I got pregnant pretty quick. So, yeah. So it's like 2017. My son was born 2018, 2019. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm sorry. What did you ask again?
I was saying, how long ago was this? You said that was your first and only time that you've been arrested?
Yeah, I was arrested in 2018. I was arrested
Okay.
on Halloween
You was
night,
in
and
the
that
middle
was.
of saying what happened.
I'm sorry. One more time.
I said you were.
Oh yeah. So my son at this time, he was a 4-day-old preemie. And it wasn't any fault of my own. It was just his. I just couldn't carry him. I was a bag in a bottle, and he was, and that was his downfall. And of course, because I already know what was going on, I'm getting mad at this point. It's like the more he's not responding, the more I'm getting mad, the more I'm getting worried at the same time. Because like in the messages, you'll see I'm going back and forth between being mad, kind of being angry, and I'm like, bro, okay, something's not right. Because even if I say, wow, this is really what you want to do, okay, cool, fuck you, he'll respond back or something. It was just nothing at all, just straight silent. So I'm like, okay, I was a little worked up, so I was like, you know what, there's nothing wrong with him. I'm used to it. So I'm like, forget it. I'm gonna just go to sleep. That entire night, I literally was tossing and turning. I just could not, like, I just felt like.
He gave you a rose, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when he came back, you were mad because you had been trying to contact him and he didn't answer. Isn't that what you said?
No. I can't remember why I was mad at him. I'm saying like, I was mad. Okay. He came back, gave me the rose. He left after that, but after he left, that's why I was getting mad, because I couldn't get in contact with him, or if I did before he died, it would be like really patchy.
Okay,
So
wait.
he had kids.
Okay, wait there. Okay. So were you guys living together at this time? You guys were living together?
No, he's never been on my lease. I've never had any man on my lease.
Okay, so he lived somewhere, you lived somewhere. Okay, so
yeah,
he came to your house to pick up all your kids, the kids that you had with him and the other children. He takes them to Chuck E. Cheese. He comes back. He gives you a rose, you talking trash to him, and then you throw the rose away. So once he leaves, does he leave with your kids, or he drops off all the kids to you when he gave you the rose?
Well, yeah, cause like, okay, he didn't live with me, but he didn't like he didn't have to come and pick up the kids because he was already there the night prior, like spending the night with me and stuff. He rubbed his head. I don't give a shit what it was. I'm texting her, I'm calling her, letting her know, keeping them updated, because I'm like, you guys are only 30 minutes from the hospital. Why is it taking all 12 hours to get here? He went into the hospital at 3 o'clock, and they were getting there at almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Mind you, I had a bonnet on, a jacket, fucking a mismatch outfit, 2 different type of shoes on. They come in, they're dolled up, they looking nice, smelling good. I'm like,
And this
no
is
wonder
when
why
he
he
was
went
still
on
on life
drugs.
support.
This is why he is still on life support. Yes, why
Okay.
he is still on life support. And one thing, and that's probably why they're mad, because they don't want me to talk, because I'm gonna definitely admit where I'm wrong, and I'm gonna take accountability for it. But I'm not gonna let y'all just throw me under the bus like y'all so perfect. I'm gonna definitely make sure I tell y'all's dirt too, because they're gonna try to paint this picture and services, because she's literally calling in every day. Now here in Ohio, even if because mind you, every time she called, they have no choice but to come out, because it's a report of a neglect or whatever. They have to investigate it. So, excuse me. Every time they came out to investigate, okay, how can I put it? Children's Services works this way. They come out. If there's an issue, they open the case. If there's nothing, they don't open it. It's just called like litigation or investigation stage or whatever. So that doesn't mean you have an open case. So anybody who does get CPS called on, just because they show up at your house, until they say they're transferring it to ongoing services, you do not have an open case. So anyway, so she called Children's Services on me, and this was also around that time where COVID was a huge thing. So at the same time that she was calling Children's Services on me every day, saying I killed her son and all type of crazy ass shit, like, bro, I cannot. This bitch is dumb. So anyway, do you remember when I don't know if they were doing it where you are, but they had took all the kids out of school, said, here, take some computers. Computers.
It was during COVID, yeah.
Okay, so they was doing it down there too? Okay, well, yeah, so they was doing it here. And of course, this is everybody's first go around with COVID. Nobody really knows nothing was going on. It's just chaotic. So, my landlord is saying at the same time, like they was also saying nobody has to pay rent, because obviously can't nobody work. So I don't know how the shit really works, So my landlord at that time was still saying, hey, although can't nobody, long story short, you still got to fucking pay your rent or leave. So me not really me not really knowing, this stuff was going on with COVID and stuff, I'm not about to lose everything, so I chose to go to work, because I didn't have nobody who could, do that on camera time. I chose to go to work, keep my bills paid, keep a roof over our house. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. I graduated from on camera time. I chose to go to work, keep my bills paid, keep a roof over our house. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. I graduated from online school. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to teach them the material when we get home. They're going to miss the on-screen time, but they were turning in their homework. But because it was the on-screen time that, they needed to have, they filed truancy. So, of course, when truancy is filed, Children's Services is notified. So Children's Services went to court. They was like, well, she has all these calls on her, although none of them were open cases, and they were all found to be false, or, like nothing concerning was happening. There was like, oh, well, she has all these false calls or whatever, and now she has truancy. Something has to be going on. Take her kids. So they took my kids.
Wait, slow down. Okay, so wait, you telling me about the time that the mom called CPS on you? Is that what you're telling me?
No, so I'm telling you the time that, like, I'm kind of rewinding it back, trying to make sure you stay in the timeline of how these false calls or whatever, and now she has truancy. Something has to be going on. Take her kids. So they took my kids.
Wait, slow down. Okay, so wait, you telling me about the time that the mom called CPS on you? Is that what you're telling me?
No, so I'm telling you the time that, like, I'm kind of rewinding it back, trying to make sure you stay in the timeline of how I met the girl's dad, how things transpired, and what led me up to meeting the girl's dad. That in between. So yeah, long story short, when old buddy died, the mom went nuts, had my kids taken from me. So at this time, like, I
Who
was going
had
to it.
truancy though? Like your kids, they missed too many days of school?
No, they were missing the computer time because I was still going to work, but I was having them turn in their homework because I didn't know if I was actually still going to be evicted or not. Because
Right. So
mind you, I didn't know about the COVID.
they were missing virtual school.
Yeah, they were missing the
Okay.
camera time and stuff. So they was just like, like the homework's not sufficient enough to, turn in, because who's to say you're really teaching them? But they weren't getting bad grades on their homework either, so they got to be learning something. But anyway, they took my kids because they weren't getting the on camera time, as well as the,
So how long were they not going to virtual school?
I want to say at this point, it was probably about a month. I'm not going to, like, somebody's great auntie, she ain't really tech savvy for real. So
Okay.
it was like, okay.
Okay, so basically, so it's about a month. So it's about a month. Her son dies, and your children are missing virtual school for a month, and then she flips out and calls CPS on you and gets them taken.
No. So my kids didn't get taken from me until a year after he died. So that entire year after he died, every day, and if it wasn't every day, it was every other day or every week, but like literally faithfully, faithfully was calling CPS on me. So, and actually at one point, it's a couple times that, because at one point they were saying, kids couldn't get COVID and stuff like that. She's like, which I don't even know. I posted. Y'all really don't have to go to this girl's page and then go to my page and look at my old posts and stuff, because she's really fucking weird. So anyway, my son had allergies and stuff, and I was like, oh, poor baby. I posted that my son was, he had allergies and stuff. She called CPS, told them that my son had fucking COVID, and I refused to give him medical care. And this was a time that study showed that kids couldn't get COVID, especially kids of his age. Mind you, he was like, my son was almost 2 when his dad died. So, or no, almost 1. So he was almost 2 when they took him. So, yeah, she would do stupid stuff like that. And then she would call him and lie, say that my son had cigarette burns. That's what I'm going to do. Monday, I'm going to just get all the calls that this girl did. Because you can actually get your record. Don't let them lie to y'all and say y'all can't. Y'all can get y'all's records. I've done it before. But yeah, she just kept every day or every single time. And actually one time I actually had a caseworker sitting on my couch talking to me about one of the allegations that she had called about and whatever. They called her cell phone while she's talking to me, saying they got another call in.
Oh wow.
Yeah, while I'm literally talking to her, they're like, we just got another report, and they're asking her, and she's like, no, I'm sitting here. And for a while, it was like literally the same caseworker that came out every single time, and I was just like, hey girl, it was literally like that.
Okay, so when your kids got took,
oh yeah,
for her falsely calling, how long were they took, and how long did it take you to get them back till now we're here?
So it took me a year and a half to get them back. And I'm not going to lie, that was also kind of like a fault of my own a little bit, because when they came to give me the news, like, hey, we're taking your kids, they came with the cops. We're messing around for a little bit of time, and like I said, I still don't want nothing serious, and I'm on birth control, but I am fertile. I'm very fertile. So my youngest son, he's actually a birth control baby. So when he slipped up and decided to, like, can I say that on this channel? I think we're all old enough to know what we're saying.
He finished and planted his seed.
There we go. So yeah, and I'm like, it sure won't be me. So I took a plan B. What I didn't know is that even if you're on birth control and you take a plan B, I didn't know they canceled each other out. So me trying to make sure he didn't end up my baby dad kind of not made me, but it kind of, it backfired, because she's like, oh, you tried to get rid of me before I was born. Well, here I am and meet my sister. So that's how they came. Now, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't find out till I was like 4 months, because I was just having severe back pain, but I was still having my so when I went to the hospital, they was like, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, mind you, I'm like, not me. You got the wrong one. Because, like, mind you, I'm on birth control. I took the plan B. It's just, I'm thinking, you know, things are sweet. There's like, nah, it's you. And I'm like, it's anybody but me. Like, no, it's you. So long story short, they did my test twice to, you know, kind of shut me up. I was still pregnant and, you know, shortly. So when they sent my first ultrasound, you know, I was kind of like, I don't want to be here, but I'm not gonna lie, I had got perked up and excited because when I went in for the first ultrasound, there wasn't a bag. I mean, no, there was a bag, but there was nothing there, not a dot, not nothing. So they was like, okay.
Well, you say you got perked up while you was pregnant?
No, like, no, not perked up, not like perks and Zans and stuff.
Oh, I
Like,
thought you meant.
no. I mean, like perked up, like I got happy, like excited, like.
You know, it's a lot of these slang words. I gotta be clear.
Look, nothing since 2017. Nothing since 2017. So anyway, so yeah, I got perked up or happy or overexcited because when I went in, you know, there was a bag, but there was nothing in there, and it was like, well, you know, for what your HCG level is measuring or whatever, like, you know, there should be something there. So they said, come back. There was nothing there again that following week. So they said, okay, well, you know, it's now going on the third week. You still don't have nothing in the bag. So come back on that third appointment. They were going to give me the little stuff for the DNC or whatever the method or process is. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So when I, on that third visit, when I went, something popped up in the bag. Something was there. And I was like, oh, so this is what y'all gonna do. So they was like, oh, okay, well, you know what, just come back next week. So literally I was going back to the time. We also had the abortions were banned here, like once there was a heartbeat and stuff. So the reason why also it took the 4 weeks because there wasn't nothing in the bag. So everybody's thinking there ain't no baby. So on that third week when the baby popped up or whatever, not the third week, but that third visit when something popped up in the bag, they was like, oh, okay, well, just come back. We're going to see what's going on, what it's looking like then. So when I went, it went from nothing to a dot. And then when I went back on that fourth visit, that dot turned into two large dots with heartbeats. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm only so big. Where was they at? You know, so I was like, they already got heartbeats. So I'm like, okay, so obviously it's too late. So while I was freshly pregnant, I was excited because once I realized, I was like, okay, well, obviously can't abort them or nothing. So I was kind of getting excited, and then I was like, oh, they're twins. I was like, what if they're my girls? I finally got girls. Like I was kind of, making myself happy, granted who the dad was, but then of course, dealing with who I was dealing with, like turns out he had a pill problem. And I got this man on video leaning, looking like a junkie and everything. But yeah, it don't matter. But
His baby daddy was on drugs too. He was on pills.
Yeah, I can't say he's doing that now because I don't talk to him. I haven't seen him since sometime December when I had tried to drop my daughters off to him. Well, because it wasn't like, oh, mutual, like, hey, come get the girls. That was my first time reaching out to him in almost a year or two or however long, like, hey, did you know that your girls over here still exist type thing? So he was like, oh, yeah, you know what? He was trying to play the part of, oh, yeah, what are they doing? How are they? And then, he's like, yeah, I'm going to come and see them and pick them up tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. Because obviously not now, but like, when I tell you, I kept trying to get this man to, have a bond with his daughter. He's like, you don't have to like me. We don't have to get along. In fact, we don't have to talk about nothing but pick up, drop off, anything emergency wise or, food wise when it comes to these girls. We couldn't even do that because he wasn't involved. So when I saw him in December, this is now day 4 of him saying, oh, yeah, I'm about to come get him. And I was like already going through some crazy stuff. So he was with his baby mama at that time. And, I'm sorry, y'all. This car, if I can say. Okay, there we go. So,
yeah, started for a little bit because girl, your battery gonna die out at light.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah. Anyway, found out I was pregnant with the girls. I actually spent my entire. Well, I'm not gonna make it seem like he wasn't there. I mean, okay, he was present in and out, but he wasn't like actually there. I'm not gonna make it seem like he was somebody I could really call on or talk to when I was pregnant or anything. But I'm not gonna lie, it was because I had some severe hyperemesis. Like you see, like the way I'm sitting now, like even if I turned my head to the side, I would like it was so bad. Like I was in the hospital 3 times a week. My back gave out, my hips gave out. So, obviously I was also on bed rest too. So at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't work. I couldn't even go to the.
Today's the day I finally got my
up to the house. I see him coming around the back. So I'm like, yeah, I wear glasses. So it's a little dark. So I'm like, looking like, is that him? And I was like, oh, it is him. So I waited till he got, close up by the porch where my daughters was. And I said, well, there go your daughters. Have a good night. Go ahead and be a dad. And I sure did drive off. But it's not like I just left them on the porch with no supervision. I made sure he saw them. He was standing right next to them. Now you ain't got no choice but to do something for him. So to tell them that my kids was malnutritioned and all of that, which is not true because his baby mom will tell you when she picked them up, his sister actually talked to his sister when she was there.
Okay,
she was
wait. So you said when he got the kids, you dropped them off and then you drove off. Like you made sure he had them, but then you drove off. And then he had them for 4 days. So when he had them for 4 days,
he called them, tried to say that they was malnutritioned. He tried to say that they had an ear infection and all that stuff, but what he didn't know, they literally already had a doctor's appointment like 2 days prior to that. So that wasn't nothing wrong with them. So he tried it, and then turns out, which I actually have that recorded. Turns out he actually called Children's Services on me because he was saying that he was trying to get the kids so he could try to use them to try to get a house. And I was like, you do realize that if you go to court and we get 50-50 custody, you still might be able to do something, but you trying to do all this extra stuff. So I kept, I would text him. I'm like, how are the girls doing? He would text me, you'll never see them again. Then like text me stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Like if I was to call him about his daughters, he's going to talk about our relationship from however many years ago. Like it never stays on just the topic of our daughters. It literally goes to anything else but our daughters. And I ain't trying to talk about nothing else but our daughters. Like I just need to talk about how you're going to be a dad. And if you ain't, that's why we don't talk, because there's nothing to talk about. So, also, like the night when I dropped them off at Children's Services and stuff like that, the cops actually talked to him on the phone. He told them he didn't want them because he got 2 babies on the way by 2 other women. And I'm like, well, good luck to them. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I'm trying to get to the money. So I'm the same way money minded as I was then. So, I'm going to take every opportunity. So if they call me, if, headquarters call me at 3:00 in the morning, hey, or text me saying, hey, we got this new contract for you. I'm going to pick up that phone call. But what he would do behind my back, thinking that, because he's very insecure, like he can't dish out the same type of hurt he gave people he cheated on. So anyway, he would text these different companies behind my back, some unprofessional, straight BS. So I ended up losing my franchise because they're just like, no, we got to cut ties with you because it's getting bad. Or if I would have to go clean, like these are businesses. You have some of these places, you have to have clearance, authorization, or badges to get through. He think I'm about to just pull up with him while he's sitting in my car for hours while I'm in this place cleaning because he's so worried about what I'm doing. So I'm like,
she did sit here and say that she helped the third baby dad get some perks or whatever, and that's when she made sure he was selling it because he was going to mess up her franchise of cleaning and stuff like that, and she lost it because her job because of him, and because he got high, he took majority of the pills and got high. She said that, but y'all can go watch that on Nick at Night page and get the whole entire interview. Now, there were a lot of other YouTubers and people that wanted to help her. There was a woman named Nikki who told her story. And after this young gentleman that you're going to see here and what he had to say, and then we're going to get into her second interview, but she basically told her she was serious, that she would help her. And there are things, like I said, that do help, places that help, and things she could do. Now, what this young man said, I agreed upon because I've always been saying you never know who you're raising. And then it got a little interesting. Here's the clip.
All y'all do y'all thing.
Wait, may I ask you a question?
thank you.
Go ahead.
Now, question. You said you think I did them a disservice, right? Now, do you think I'm doing them a disservice by, I mean, mind you, I still legally have custody of my kids. I know where they are. I chose where they're placed. You know, the children's services is not involved whatsoever. So I see my kids. I know what's going on, right? Do you think I'm doing a disservice now versus me going back into sleeping into abandoned houses that ain't got no back door, no boarded windows, you know, who knows, it could be a junk house or whatever. But what if I took them back to this homeless shelter where people are dying? There really ain't no security, and they're, once again, first time they saw somebody get shot up with a needle. So, and you know, granted the other things we've been through, do you think I'm doing them a disservice by placing them in a better position versus going back and putting them into a worse position where
But you said you got a place right now, don't you? You said you still have your place, right?
As of right now, but that's still up in the air because they actually already put the leave the premises notice on my door. And this is already because, you know, the situation with the fire and all that other stuff. And that's not for last month's rent. Last month was cool. I would have had this month's rent had they not pulled that stuff at, you know.
So you had 2 fires? I thought the first fire was in 2018.
You said what?
I thought the last fire was in 2018. You had 2 fires?
No, I went to jail for the first and only time in 2018. The fire is what happened, like, you know, with this job and stuff, why I can't, you know, with the situation with this month. I've only had 1 fire.
Oh, that's probably what I kept getting confused on. I kept thinking that the fire happened.
So after she's done Didn't Get Night, she had the Unpacking Baggage podcast, which was supposed to be with Brittany, but I think her name is Q, and it was B Level. And she got more deeper into what happened to her in her childhood. Now, it's very funny because there are some parts that she didn't tell us in Whitney at Night that she decided to tell with this podcast. And a lot of people felt like that was very interesting because they got 2 different sides. Like, we got one side, even though Neat didn't get fully into it, she said some things, and then all of a sudden we get more detail, and then there were some parts left out. So this is why people were saying they weren't going to send her Cash App. Some people did send her Cash App, some people did not. And then she was saying she wanted to have paid interviews from now on because she felt like she was helping people podcast. I don't know if that was a shot at Neek or anything. So they tried to call her on the phone, it didn't work. And then the live streaming didn't work. Then it was a call on the phone. So I'm going to play this audio and clip, and I'll be back with more commentary.
House, tell them what led up to you wanting to have a release of your children. Tell them the things that happened to you, because I want to start from the beginning so that we understand how did you get to this point of wanting to take your children and give them CPS. So let's start back to that week that all of these things happened to you that brought you to that point.
Okay, yeah, sure. So when I say JFS, it's Job and Family Services, which is, you know, the welfare office or whatever, you know. Okay. So I'm working my 2 jobs. I'm door dashing, I'm doing my little hustles, you know, and anything, you know, get my bills and stuff together. So one of my jobs was strictly work from home. There wasn't like a hybrid office that we could do. So at that time, the landlord was, you know, upgrading the house that I was living in, with, you know, fine, no problem. So when it came time for them to put siding on the house, they were trying to rush through it and ended up causing electrical fire. So the entire back of my house caught on fire. So obviously I didn't, you know, no electricity, the smoke damage, just all of it. We just couldn't be there, obviously. So from then, I'm like, okay, I'm in my car, you know. Well, I'm sleeping in the car. I got the kids and, you know, somewhere else, you know. So I'm in the car, just trying to thug it out. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's fine. I got my other job. Cool. I lost the one job because obviously my house burned down. Obviously can't work, you know. So I'm cool. I'm working the other job. Then once again, JFS, they took my children off the daycare roster for no reason. Now, for whatever reason, it's so hard to get in contact with them. I still have not heard back from
both of your baby daddies trying to get help. Nobody will help you. Now, you mentioned that you had a situation with your first father, that your relationship kind of messed up, correct?
The oldest 2 sperm donor?
Yes. You said correspondent. So talk about why your relationship is not good with him.
So when I met him, had just turned 15.
Mm-hmm.
Now at that time, I'm not even gonna lie. So like I'm very intelligent now, but around like back then, I wasn't like in touch with reality. I was a little bit like delayed or just very like I didn't know shit about the world at all, like nothing at all, like clueless as fuck. So anyway, just turned 14, no, just turned 15. I didn't know at that time that he was 21, almost 22, because he was like really short and fat and whatnot. So like he was, hanging out with all the other kids my age and stuff. So I'm young. I'm not thinking of how old he is, So we started bonding and stuff, and then around at that time, I don't know if you've heard me, talk about like my upbringing.
Right.
So at that time, my mom was heavily drinking, and I think around the time like we started like kind of like getting close, mind you, I'm thinking he's a a little kid like me or whatever. My mom, like it was just, I'm sorry. It had been about 3 or 4 days since we ate like anything like a real something, outside of crackers or something. Like we really didn't have no food. We were really like fending for ourselves since we were, really young. So anyway, my mom was heavily drinking, and I think around the time like we started like kind of like getting close, mind you, I'm thinking he's a a little kid like me or whatever. My mom, like it was just, I'm sorry. It had been about 3 or 4 days since we ate like anything like a real something, outside of crackers or something. Like we really didn't have no food. We were really like fending for ourselves since we were, really young. So anyway, he's like, okay, well, I know it's a couple, days since you've eaten, so I'll tell you what, you do this for me and I'll get you some food. Like, I can put it.
And when you say do this, is actually he asks you
One of them little small pizzas, like one of them little personal pizzas or whatever. It wasn't enough to feed anybody, so I gave it to my brother because I was already so fucking disgusted with myself. Like, there goes my purity for a fucking personal pizza. So whatever. So I did end up like, telling my mom. Now my mom also, well, I didn't know, but eventually kind of I found out that he was also like getting my mom like hell of liquor, like, like getting her so drunk and passed out, So like he befriended my mom so he could like stay around, if that made sense. Yeah. I don't know if I'm explaining.
He get her drunk so he can manipulate her kids, basically.
Yeah, because when I told her, because my mom, and I try not to blame my mom because, I've forgiven my mom, but I really did. I grew up with a lot of resentment, a lot of hatred towards her. Like I used to disrespect her so bad, like it was just really bad.
Yeah, so real quick, let me interrupt you more. So the people that are just tuning in, a lot of people don't know who you are, who we're talking to. We're having conversations with Amora Alexis, and so you were confused because there were a white guy that was invited by your mom and then your baby daddy who was much older to you. So obviously you had some sexual contact between the two of them in a short period of time for you to be confused, correct?
Yeah, and both well, so the white man was actually older than the other dude, so these are both grown men.
Okay.
So my sister, my older sister at that time, she already had her boyfriend who was always either there, and if, he wasn't there with her, they were just gone.
Okay.
And then my other sister, I can't even tell you where the fuck she was. I can't even beat you. She was just never there.
Okay.
So it's just me and my, my brother and my mom and whoever else she'd be having around. Didn't know who the dad was because I'm not gonna lie, he came out white as hell. I mean, like, and I don't mean like to sound racist or nothing, but I mean like he really, like, I did not know who the dad was.
Okay. And so that's baby number one. The baby number two, the second oldest, who is that? Does he have the same father?
Yeah, the oldest two have the same dad, and they are actually 11 months apart because I didn't get to have that little 6 weeks time to heal because he forced himself on me. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 weeks after my first son was born. So by the time my oldest son was a month old, I had already found out I was already pregnant again.
Wow. So first two kids were through a sexual assault. Was he ever charged? Did you ever tell the police?
So I tried to tell my mom. I didn't really get anywhere with her because, like I said, I try not to blame my mom because, yeah. So, and I don't mean to offend any religious person on here when I say this, but I'm sorry, the truth can never be a diss. So this lady's very religious, but it's like as religious as she is, it's like she's brainwashed like a Jesus freak. So like, even how can I put it? Like, you could like watch a music video. She's like, "Oh, turn that off because you're getting brainwashed."
She's
and
holier than
you're
thou. Let's
letting
say she's
demons in the
holier than
house.
thou.
Like, yeah,
Too holy.
crazy. So yeah, so she so, and everybody's had a very extremely toxic relationship before with their baby dad. It's always going to be worse before it gets better. But unfortunately for us, it was just, I don't think it probably would have ever gotten better. And but anyway, around the time that like he died, and even before, like when I was in Florida, when I first found out he had overdosed, I had said some shit to him. I had told them that he should have died because I'm like, okay, well, where was my son when you were doing all of this? Like, where's my son? Like, and it's the whole time I'm like, nobody in his family is trying to tell me what's going on, and everybody's just saying, Alex, get better, get better. So it's, I'm already getting pissed off because I'm worried. I'm already getting pissed off because I'm worried. I'm trying to find out what the hell is happening with, is it big Alex or little Alex? Where's my son? What's going on? So when I found out that he was just out there willy-nilly just doing drugs and stuff, and my car, I mean, not my car, but my son is just out and about, I was pissed off. So yeah, I definitely that it won't be no next time, because I mean, I wasn't lying. Look where we're at. It wasn't no next time.
So let me ask you this. Take us to the day, take us to his last day, because from talking with you this morning, you told it that's kind of when the shit started hitting the fan, his last day living, how that happened, and how they come to thinking that you had something to do with it. Just take us to that day he passed and him coming home and you guys getting into it.
Yeah, so honestly, before he died, I knew he was going to die. So I'm hoping, because I know she still has, access to his messages. I hope she posts our messages. I knew he was going to die.
And why did you feel like you knew he was going to die?
Because I could see it. I could look at him and tell. It's like, when you seriously, like, and I mean, like, this man was a serious monster to me, and I still love this man, tried to, see the good in him when I knew he wasn't shit, so it's like, when you really love somebody, when you know.
Okay.
So I could spiritually, I could feel it. His mom could feel it. We were both dreaming of, bro, like, you need to sit down. So, and he just kept telling me, like, his eyes are dark brown, but it seemed like they turned black around the time that he passed, So, and he was just always like saying, I'm so tired. And I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Take your time.
My son is knocking at the window.
For those of you guys who are waiting, we're talking with Amora Alexis, the young lady that went viral last week. She has a lot of...
Not responding and all that. So I'm like, whatever. Probably, like, I don't know. I'll probably finally get to sleep late at night. So, but the whole time I'm still tossing and turning. Like, I had an eerie feeling. I could not put my finger on it, and I wasn't trying to think of, obviously, the death or anything like that. But it was just like, I'm like, nah, ain't nothing wrong with him. I'm just tripping. I kept telling myself, and I'm tossing, I'm turning. When I finally get to sleep, his cousin Sasha calls me, and mind you, I still ain't got no response from him. Mm-hmm. So she's like, hey, what's Alex's number? Because when she called me, this is when I finally went to sleep. I was sleeping with all my kids, that this time I only had the three boys. So I'm at home in bed sleeping with my kids where I'm supposed to be. She calls me. She's like, hey, what's Alex's mom's number? He's not responding. And, I'm not thinking nothing of it because, in my head, okay, well, he ain't responding to me either. So
past when the cause of death, time of death, he had actually already died when you were getting mad, thinking that he was ignoring you and that he was just out with some chick or out getting high. He had already passed.
Yeah, he was already like when I was texting him, he was already with the people he was going to be partying with that night. It just so happened the two people who got sick, one of them died, obviously was my baby dad. The other one was his cousin. And the girl that they were with, which it's still a lot of conflicting stories with that. And I still to this day, I will never know the truth. But I do know at the end of the day, it is his fault because the same girl that he bought the fentanyl, well, it wasn't fentanyl. He bought a bag of Coke from her, but she gave him a bag of fentanyl. And the reason why she was charged, and yeah, actually, I'm about to really drop some serious tea that his mom forgot to tell y'all. And this about to be the gag right here. But anyway, so the girl that he bought the Coke from, she gave him a whole bag of fentanyl. Turns out remember I was telling you about the infidelities? He was also sleeping with her, and she got mad because he didn't choose her. He chose me over her. Then the dude that she had already, apparently I wasn't there.
Are you familiar with this video?
Yeah, I'm pretty in that video. And it's crazy because now, I don't know, people are going to always try to bring out the worst or showcase the worst in somebody, because actually that video, I think I was pregnant with my youngest son. And yeah, what I'm saying in the video, I'm not going to lie. I was so ready to not be pregnant no more. I was at my lowest. I wanted to fucking die. So I probably was saying all that shit. I wasn't lying at that time. I wanted to fucking die. I did not want any type of ties to him. I didn't want to be alive no more. Like, y'all don't, like, no, I don't think nobody understands, like, the mental, like, it was so much mental and physical abuse. And I'm pretty sure y'all can see I'm a little, like, I'm crying in the video. I'm pissed off. I'm clearly agitated. More so than the normal person. But a lot of people, they're just looking at that video, but they're not going to realize that this man was just beating my ass before he pulled out the camera.
So which daddy was that? Was that the first one, or was that the second one that made this video with you? Was that the last one?
That was the one that died. Okay.
That's the one that moms think. Okay. All right. And you were pregnant.
Yeah. So his mom is posting.
Smear your image. Did she get these videos out of his phone when he died? How did he post this video? How did this video surface?
She's posting, mind you, he's dead. She's going through posting everything. He's not doing anything. He's been dead almost 4 years. No, it has been 4 years that he's been dead. So she's going through posting and everything. Now, if you guys actually go to her page, she's literally been posting about me every day or every other day for the last 4 years. And even before he died, she was posting about me. Like, and actually I do have a lawsuit, and actually I have a team of legal looking at her right now, because we have 4 years of evidence of defamation of character. She's been put out some of my medical history, because she actually told everybody that I was raped before I was ready to even, talk about stuff like that. So yeah, she's posted nude pictures of my son, because every baby's going to get a damn diaper rash, tried to say, I don't even know what the fuck she said, but long story short, she posted a picture of my son's, all his private parts, just trying to bash me on a picture that not only did I not know she took, that she didn't have permission to take. Like, where is his dad? So when his dad's not around, you're taking pictures of his body parts. So also, and a lot of people don't know, she really is mental, and that's the reason why Children's Services took my son from her and gave him back to me. Because also when my son came back, he needed, behavioral therapy and stuff, because, he was still in, not pull-ups, but he was still in diapers when he came back to me. My son is 5. So he was still in diapers and stuff like that. Wasn't, just certain stuff that he should have been doing. He wasn't supposed to be, he wasn't doing at his age and stuff. And then he would say certain stuff like, am I about to get in the shower with my brown grandma? And, he has 2 grandmas. He has my mom, and then, the dude that died's mom. And she's darker than my mom. My mom looks kind of white. So, and I'm like, okay, what do you mean get in the shower with your brown grandma? So, like, it's certain things that he would say or do to where I know, like, she was so mental that she was over there doing stuff to my son. Now, I don't know, like, I'm not saying, like, she was saying, like, mentally, like, hold on one second. I'm sorry. So I was just like telling them, like, at this very moment, like, mentally there is nothing wrong with me. Like, everybody's trying to poke holes at my past, and they want something to be wrong with me. Like, I've moved on in my life. I don't live there no more. But I was telling them, like, right now I've got so much going on, and I'm reaching out to these baby dads. They just want to keep seeing me.
What was that conversation like? And I had somebody that, did CPS that day you went, did they take your children? Did you leave your children there with CPS that day?
When I left the CPS building, I think I left at like maybe 2, 3, or 4. No, it had to be about 4 o'clock in the morning. My kids did stay the night at CPS.
Okay, so and then answer the question.
Lately, I want to say probably since last year, like since I got all my kids back, I have not had no support system, like, or even before then, but like it was really, really bad. Like nothing. Like both my daughters had therapy 3 times a week. Alex also had his emotional and behavioral therapy as well from, when I got him back from Faith. So it's all these therapies. I'm trying to work. No, like daycare, no help. The dads ain't helping, diapers. It was just so much. And I was just like, you know what? I'll be damned if I struggle it again. And if I do struggle, I'm not going to struggle with them because like they've been through the struggle. Like my oldest, I was just like telling them like everything that I've gone through. And I was just like telling them like mentally, like, hold on one second. Like I've had to play that, I've had to do certain things I wasn't proud of to take care of my kids, I don't. When I went to this one shelter down here, it's called Van Buren. To be honest, if they were smart, they would actually really shut that shelter down because it's not safe for nobody. No, especially no women with children. So it's really messed up. I really think the mayor might want to look into that one too. But trying to go to a shelter and seek assistance, they don't help you. Literally, all they do is just, yeah, you can come in, but you can't really bring shit with you. And if you do, you kind of got to leave it somewhere where everybody else can kind of dig through it and take your shit. And then, whether it don't matter like what's going on there, they wake you up at like 4 or 5. I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And like you got to wake up 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and
get out.
Yeah. So when you leave them,
ain't no businesses or nothing open.
So when you leave your kids there that night, you leave all 5 of your babies there overnight. Do you come back to get them the next day? Do you tell me how and why did you come back to get them? Because they were in the system when you left that night, correct?
So no. So in the video, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. She does say, well, CPS now has custody of your children. They don't actually take them because like what happened is I took my kids to the fire station. We talked their safe place, haven or whatever. They couldn't take them. So and even the cop that I was talking to, like they was like, okay, well, is it mental? And they started talking about the codes and stuff. And she was like, no, it's not that at all. She's not mental, like at all. Nothing was wrong. So my kids or, they would have took them or, I would have an open case. I don't have an open case with CPS. You would think I do, but I don't have an open case with CPS. But anyway, they was like, listen, if you can think of something, because now that because mind you, I didn't have nobody coming forward. And I had mind you, as you saw all this live for hours prior to that, even still up until, leading up to going to CPS, I was still reaching out for help behind the scenes, still not getting no response. Nobody was coming forward until I guess they saw I was really up there. Like it wasn't a joke or something, like it was like a last minute type thing.
Right.
So that's when I started getting all these messages like, hey, I'll take them. They had already used like, okay, well, they say, oh, well, we have custody.
Ask you to come on. I didn't know any of those things, but I did see your live when you did it. I think Brittany Arnold shared it and I clicked on it. I was working that day, so I didn't see all of it. But as I started to research you and find out your story, I just felt like you were really honest. I've seen some past interviews that you've done and you've been honest.
Now, this was kind of confusing for everyone because when they went to her live, she said she told Neat that she was still in her place, and then she told the unpacking baggage that she was not. So when we looked, she was doing a live. She was sitting on her bed in her home. She was unlocking the door and everything. And then after, I guess, she smoked Zaza and went live to be like she wanted to meet everybody to get her own Cash App because nobody was sending her Cash App. She had got one. She decided to lay on the floor. So a lot of people was thinking she's probably still on drugs or some sort. And they also feel like she's changing her story and switching up so many times. The more she talks about her second baby father's mom who passed away, the baby dad who passed away, mom, she gets very, very disrespectful Now, I guess because of the things she posted and said that reading it to her, she gets more and more angry. And then I was trying to get the part where she was talking about the neighbor and Neat video, when she said a lady called CPS on her, and then all of a sudden she passed away. And then I was trying to get what she said she bought the house for $6,000 and paid $1,500 a month. I couldn't find it, but if y'all can go look, y'all go watch that video and listen to it. It's very confusing. Now we're going to get into the second baby father's mother. Her name is Miss Faith. Okay, you can go to her page, search it on Facebook. This is what it looked like. Miss Faith has been pro-advocate for her son since last year. She also shared some details. She said that also, you guys watch it, where she says allegedly that Amora has two of her children. Now, if you listen to the audio, one of her kids are knocking on the window. First she said CPS have them, then she said CPS don't. So I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Faith got some valid receipts on this young lady. I hate to say it, but it's very valid. This woman is not changing up what she said. Now, she hasn't really talked about her because she only posted since last year. Now, if you guys type in not just Faith Carr, but Justice for Alex, and go on here, it has police report, it has some video recordings. It got a lot. It got a lot. And it looks like Miss Amora Alexis is basically lying. And then first she said she was in Florida. A lot of people caught on the other interview, she said she was in Ohio. So she changed it about 2-3 different times. And then when we checked, so she got her kids back. So then a lot of people say, hold on, she must have two of her children back and not the other ones, because one of them just knocked on the window. And she was like, oh, I can get them whenever I want, trying to downplay. Here's the thing. The more she do videos, I guess interviews to try to get help, whatever she's doing, however she trying to scam everybody, whatever it is, the more her situation is going to come out, and then it's going to be an open investigation. They're going to reopen the case, allegedly. And this is how I see it, because they're already listening to you. You talking about, oh, the FBI came and got me. Baby, the FBI ain't touch you yet, but they can get you. They don't got to charge you for that. They can charge you for something else. The young lady has been sitting in jail that she said gave the drugs to him or whatever. She don't have trial till next year. So my thing is, y'all let her sit up in there for he passed in 2020, it's going on 4 years. She don't have a trial or a court date till next year. It's a lot that don't make sense. And a lot of people, here's the thing. She always talking about, well, I didn't expect to go viral. They made me viral. You became viral when you shared a sad story. I've told y'all before, and I say it again. Black women love a crying black woman with a sad story. And this is why everybody say Cardi B should have made the album when she had issues with Offset, because she could have took it and run with it, because it's going to sell. It's a lot of bitterness and upsetness, so they want to feel related to. There are a lot of women who go through things for real. And it's like, to me, I can't feel bad for her, because it's like she's playing on what real women go through at home, who got real issues, who need real help. I just think that she's trying to do whatever she can to promote this song, talking about she want to be JJ Fish. So I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, she can't rap or sing. JJ Fish doesn't, he got good songs, but he's not that talented. What you getting up here for? Y'all really let her play in y'all face? That's what she doing. What you getting up here for, man? Because it's like, you can't rap, you can't sing. Like, girl. Amora, baby, I need you to find your niche. You could give us a vlog every day on YouTube, and you would run numbers. Stop playing. You are playing. You're playing with everybody's time. You're playing with everybody's money. She didn't get paid from that podcast, and she didn't get paid from Neat. But I think she is getting paid she's trying to get some revenue and get paid. I don't know what she's doing, but I guess she's taking the money and getting high at home with her Zaza. Y'all go watch her live. Y'all done seen her page. You watch her live. You'll be like, wait a minute, what? And that's why a lot of people feel like they don't want to send her anything. Now, some people send it because they say God said to send it. I agree. And no matter what she does to the money, if you do send it or not, no matter what, it's going to be on her, y'all. Let's just keep it honest. Whatever she's doing, I give her 15 minutes of fame will be ending by June of this summer. I give it to that. And I never lied to y'all. I give y'all that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she's going to keep running herself in the ground. and it's going to be loopholes, and then it's going to be a big mess that she's going to have to clean up. It's going to be frantic because now they're already checking for you about this young man's death. So here are the other podcasts that she's done today or is going to do. I know she did one with Queen Stats on YouTube, The Alchemist Energy. I think this was the young lady that was talking to her on Neek at Night, giving her advice as well. She's a YouTuber as well. I believe that's her because the name looked familiar. And also talks with 2K also as well at 8:30 today. It's probably already uploaded, so y'all can go look at it. I can do a little reaction on it still if you guys want me to. I'll go watch it too if anything has changed. It probably has. Let's just be honest. We're really going to go into a deeper rabbit hole with this one. With this young lady and her story. It's going to get more deeper than what it is. Just get ready to be surprised. It's nothing wrong, ladies, to have a safe place and having things to be a safe place for you to sit here and say having a hard time being a mother or you love it, but there are some times when you cry and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. Because there's a lot of women that support each other as mothers. But the issue that we're having is when we allow people to come in a trauma dump and to see what they can get out of it and manipulate it with women who really want to sit down and have a relationship with women who sit here and need a safe place. I can't breastfeed my child. It's horrible. Or I feel tired. I'm running around with him all day. I don't have a break or whatever that is okay. But what people are saying was not okay is to use people to trauma dump and get your stuff left off and to see what you can get and then run off and act like nothing else mattered and sit here and run with it and start these little things going on. And then everybody was like, wait, didn't you say? And people play with people a lot. And so ladies, it's okay for us to make a safe place, even single fathers, single mothers and fathers, even parents who have disabled children. It's okay to make a safe place, but let's not forget to be honest with one another and extend a support group. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on all social media platforms, and please leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Later.